Alrighty. So, can you tell us about the inspiration behind your music and how it reflects your personal experience?
Well, the personal experience part, I'm gonna have to dig a little deeper on you because I have a lot of personal experiences when it comes to tying it into my music and my direction. But I guess the best way to describe, you want me to describe my music, pretty much?
Whatever you want to say, whatever it's related to your music, it's all good.
I mean, I really
Pretty
got
much
it.
what inspires you to make your music or like what got you started?
Well, I really got inspired by the Unholy Trinity by Dark Throne. A Blaze in the Northern Sky is just an incredible album. I was very inspired by Xasthur, just the way that, Scott puts like just the most perfect sense with just the most abysmal like guitars you can think of. I got really inspired by that. Hexablad as well. If you're not familiar with them, they're sorry, they're
No.
a Witcher themed black metal band. They're based in both the Midwest and the East Coast. Both members are on either of those sides of the US. I'm also inspired by Axios Link, who's actually a Witch House artist from Russia. I have my roots in Witch House, though I do not consider myself Witch House anymore. I feel like it's evolved more into what I call synth-based black metal. Let me do this, actually, it's a whole lot better. Sorry. Yeah, so I would definitely just describe my music as like synth-based black metal. I have more experience with synths, and I really wanted to tie it into what I do.
That's awesome. I heard some of it and I liked it, but do you have a lot though? Well, I guess there's like a lot of stuff, so I just click like random ones, but I liked what I heard.
Thank
Okay,
you, thank
you're
you.
welcome. And how would you describe the evolution of your sound from your earlier works to your latest releases?
Ooh, drastically different. Especially like if some of my OG fans are going to be listening on this, like they really know. I started producing music actually back in 2019, and it wasn't really until I would say 2022 that I found my sound, or at least the beginning of my sound, as I call it, because recently I've started to upgrade with more guitars and stuff like that. But to describe the earlier stuff, it's hard to say. It's definitely like Witch House because, like I said, I Witch House is in my roots. Like for my music, I'm never gonna forget that. I'm always gonna recognize it. But if you aren't familiar, Witch House is like a very it's a cult themed underground electronic music. It's been around since 2009. But
I was
that's
thinking
that's
like,
another yeah.
I'm sorry, I was thinking when you said witch house, I was thinking house music kind of, but I'm like, no, it's probably like totally different.
No, I
Yeah.
know that's actually another reason why I got away from Witch House. But I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. But um, I don't know. Like to describe my older stuff, it's more naked compared to my stuff now. I don't know. It's more bare. Now it has more depth nor more body. So I guess that's kind of the best way I could describe it. Because when it comes to like describing the sounds, it's just it used to be all over the place. And then I kind of just yeah.
That makes sense. So then that follows to my next question. So what themes do you explore in your lyrics and how do they connect with your audience?
Oh, this is one of my favorites. I was hoping you would ask me this one. Winter especially because I love winter. I love
Right.
winter. I love it. Like I snowstorms. Well, not driving in it, don't get me wrong, but rain, man, gray skies, fog. Oh yeah, that's my department. So definitely winter. Uh, Horror movies. I've been a horror fanatic for many many years, especially about Nosferatu. I would also say personal experiences. Again, that's a rabbit hole. I'm not going to go down into too much detail because I have a lot of experiences in my folder. Um, let's see. I I recently started like kind of diving into like medieval themes, and there's going to be some upcoming releases that are kind of based around that. I've done a few already. There's a band called 𝓑𝓭𝓏 Are you familiar with them?
No, I haven't heard them. Tell me more.
So I think they're based out of Utah, from what I was able to gather. I don't think they're around anymore, but they have this song called "Book of the Fallen." It's on one of their albums they released a few years ago, and it was just phenomenal. It's a long song, but it's just incredible. And it's their stuff is very medieval based. You hear a lot of dungeon synth in it. Like even I would say if it go as far as actual like medieval instruments, and I got really inspired by that, and my split EP with a buddy of mine out in Kazakhstan that I released back in June. We have a song um, that well I have a song. My apologies. That's on that split. It's called a Horizon of Burning Pyres, and the name of that actually got really inspired from 𝓑𝓭𝓏. But medieval themes is more of like an up and coming kind of theme that I've added to my lyrical content. I'm even dabbling in some like more like a doom kind of style, I love Worm. They're from Florida. Have you heard of them?
No. Are they like underground or they're like up and coming?
Well, I think up and coming. I think they're signed to 20 Buck Spin.
Oh, okay. If you
Yeah,
already send me like the first one that you told me about through emails, I could like check them out. The one that's
a-
like medieval, I'll be willing to check it out.
absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely send those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really got inspired from them. Two other like black and doom metal bands that I discovered last month. And yeah, I'm just like, wow, like I feel like that'd be a cool kind of style to kind of get into. So
Fish in the
we'll see
water.
how the audiences react when those get dropped.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll like it. That's
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a hit or miss, but I'm sure people are not gonna hate it, you know?
No, for sure. I mean, music it's a gamble, no
It
matter
is.
what you do, no matter how high you are in the industry or how low, it's constantly a gamble.
Music is music. Everyone listens to music, you know?
Mhm.
There's always something new to listen to, you know?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, and then for my next question, could you share some insights into your creative process when writing and composing your new music?
That's a bit of a hard one actually, because it comes to me just randomly most of the time. Unless I already have like an idea of what I want to go for. It's hard. Yeah, it's kind of a difficult one. I mean, I think a good example would be so if you're not familiar, I have a EP coming out in on Halloween actually. It's called Arkhangelsk, which is the it's the Russian word for archangel actually, and it's gonna be 4-track EP, very simple, but it's gonna be kind of the first release of anything that I've done like guitar work on,
Sure.
so that I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm excited. I think it sounds really good. I just really started getting into the guitar as well. Um, but for that one, there's the first song on there is called a Midnight Sickness, actually, and I feel like I, I feel like that's more of like a horror. I don't know. I saw it in a horror show once, where it's like a supernatural like
Yeah.
mental disease, and I don't know. I wanted to write a song about that, so I guess that ties into an example of sorry, I'm like losing my train of thought
No
here.
worries, that's fine.
So, like I said, it's been a long day. I hope they cut this part. I'm really
Would you
sorry.
like me to move on to the next question and then maybe come back to that one?
We'll come back to that one. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's see if they can cut that out. Sorry, it's been a very long day.
Yeah,
I've
no, I understand. I'll let him know. I don't know what I was gonna say, like what the time is, but I don't know. It's just recording. Okay, and then for the next one, then, what challenges have you faced as a band in the music industry, and how have you overcome them?
There's a lot of challenges that I've come upon that a lot of people actually struggle with. I think a lot of people don't want to talk about it, and that's not me. I open my mouth when I think something isn't right, no matter what. And I think one of the biggest challenges for me, at least me personally, is support. Support. And I don't want to, I'm not going to say this like about every single person I know, and this definitely isn't for every single person that everyone else knows who goes through the same problem. But one of the biggest problems for a musician these days that people won't talk about is, unfortunately, a lot of your friends will hold you back from moving forward.
Oh, they will. Like they
Be-
don't want you to, they don't want to see you succeed, pretty much.
it's not always a malicious thing either.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, sometimes it is, and I've actually had to deal with that. But another thing too is, I mean, come on, people have work. They have other plans, like on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah. Adulting.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's totally okay. Like some of my closest friends work full time, some work on Fridays, and they're never able to make them to my shows. But the problem as well is like there's people who just don't go to shows because, oh, like I don't want to spend that money. I want to get guest listed. Like I said, and this is not everyone. Please do not get me wrong, but
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate reality. I mean, it may not be everywhere, it may not be everyone, but that's the reality that a lot of musicians do face, but they don't want to talk about it. So I would say it's one of the struggles. I think actually for the longest time as well, like another struggle that I had was finding my sound. Because like I said, I started producing in 2019 with this project, and I didn't really find the beginning of my sound until like 3 years later.
It takes time. You
Absolutely.
experiment and see what works for you, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Okay, for the next one. In your track Dreaming of the Damned, what specific themes or emotions were you aiming to convey, and how did you approach the songwriting process for that piece?
Ooh, wow, we're really diving deep today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be fully transparent with you. Not a lot of people know this.
that's fine. But you know people are gonna watch this, right?
Oh, there's gonna be probably thousands of people watching this, and
Yeah.
honestly, like at this point, I'm actually okay with what I'm about to say because like I think it's like I'm very proud of myself for conveying what I needed to let out into music, and to this day, that's actually like my top single, like no matter what. But I wrote that song, and I mean literally during a suicidal episode.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that one has like meaning, like it was during your dark times, pretty much. Yeah.
It was a very dark time for me. Like I was yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. It was a very dark time. I was not doing well mentally, and like I was just I was ready, I was ready
Oh
to go.
yeah.
And like
But
I
this
don't know, something just told me like shut the fuck up, get your ass on the computer, like write this out. And the instrumental I worked on for 6 hours, like because I remember there being a few variations, but I was like, no, it needs to be this way. It needs to sound like this. And the lyrics, I mean, the lyrics kind of came easy. Lyrics usually come easy to me, thankfully. Um, Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't. That's my answer for sure.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. That means that it helped you in some way as you were writing the song, you know?
Yeah, it's actually a fan favorite. It's been played in so many places. Like I've had just DJs spin that song, and I'm hearing seeing the videos. I'm like, wow, that's really something, you know.
Yeah.
But
Do you,
yeah,
this is like off, I just want to ask you, but like when you hear it get played, does it trigger like those times? Like,
no,
no, you're like, okay,
no. I
yeah,
worked very, very hard on myself to put those times behind me.
that's
You know,
good.
I'm living in a better place too. Like actually where I was living like contributed heavily to a lot of the mental problems that I had during that
Yeah.
period of time in my life. So, but no, it doesn't trigger me at all. If anything, it actually makes me very happy.
Okay, so you've grown from that. That's really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm super thankful for just I'm still baffled that it's my number one single. Like I mean not in a bad way. I'm just
Oh
like wow,
yeah.
like that something, you know.
I guess
So
people could feel it.
yes, and that's also another reason why I wanted to make it, you know, from just the energy, pouring the energy into it, you know, and the same thing with Silver Lake onto my last album actually. I had a PTSD episode and I same idea. I'm like, wow, like I should use this right now. I feel like this would make me feel better, you know, and
Yeah.
same effect, same effect, you know. And I mean, I'll be honest, like I don't like to, I don't want to like do that for every song or a lot of songs because me personally, I'm trying to get past, you know, like those mental problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry to get a little personal there,
No, it's
but
okay. Like, I
I,
mean, we
I
all we all
yeah.
have issues, you know. We're not perfect. We all have our mental issues that we have to deal with, cope with,
Mhm.
you know? I
Yeah,
understand. Okay, so then I'll go off to my next question.
for
Your
sure.
re- and I hope this one is a Russian name, so I hope I say it right, but I'm sure you could fill it in. So your remix of Alina's Pash, how do you say the other word?
Oh,
Well,
Lena Pash, it's Ukrainian. She's actually a Ukrainian artist.
okay. So your remix of Alina Pash's Bosorgania has a unique sound. Can you share what drew you to this track and how you approach the remixing process?
Well, I've been a huge fan of Alina Pash for a few years now. I think she's an incredible vocalist. She actually has a show at the Burgundy Room here in LA tomorrow night. So if this gets released before tomorrow night, you guys should check that out. But
Oh,
yeah, but let's see. The song is about witches. You know, I believe she is a witch as well. Like I practice in witchcraft myself. I'm an occultist. Very open about that. Um, it was. I mean, at the time, I didn't really know much about a discography, and I really liked the song. And this was. I think I made the song about a month before my first show here in LA, which was a witch house event in downtown LA. It was called Burn the Witch, who was a very dear friend of mine, dearly departed, put on that show. And I was hearing the song. I'm like, man, like this would sound really cool remix, and I could just debut it at this show. Not much thought really go went into like kind of the reasoning behind that. I'll be honest, but I don't really do remixes that often. I'm more into covers. I have two remixes that I've done. Um, One of them is not released. I don't know if I'll ever release it. I've done it live. I'm not sure. But this one was kind of just an experimental remix. I would definitely say it's very experimental. Yeah.
oh, okay.
But yeah,
Really
remixes
sound,
for
yeah.
me, it really depends on the song, you know, because I'm very very picky if I'm going to remix a song and it has to sound right, and I don't know. My original stuff just comes so much more easier than doing remixes, you know. Even covers come a lot easier.
Yeah. So that was
Mhm.
just an experiment, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a very fun experiment, yes.
Okay. I haven't heard it yet, but I will give it a listen after our interview.
Oh, thank you.
And then for the title, Thinning the Veil of Samhain suggests a connection to themes of the supernatural or the occult. Can you elaborate on what inspired this title and how it relates to the music within that project?
Oh, Halloween.
Halloween.
Hands down, Halloween. Yes, it's a Halloween song. Samhain is the old Celtic festival that marked the end of summer going into winter. It was always on October 31st, going into November 1st. Um, and as we all know, like that's if you're into the occult or even ghosts, like everyone knows that on Halloween, it's one of two times every year that the veil between the world of the living and the dead is thinnest. And I always liked the concept of, I guess, kind of bending stuff like bending reality, bending like the wills and stuff like that, you know? So, because that's kind of also what witchcraft is. Like you're
Yeah.
speeding things up, you're bending things to your own will, like so that all kind of went into the creative process of that song. Um, and also at the time, I was signed to Blasphemy Records out in Chicago, and I was in the process of making the new Salem, which was my first album, and it was the one of two releases that I released through Blasphemy Records, and I was in the process of making it at that time, and well, I'll be honest, I was a little impatient even with my writing process. So I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to write a single here and pitch it and see if they'll release it for October. And Joel, the label head, I remember him giving me a call after I sent him the instrumental, and he just said, "Dude, this is evil. We're gonna drop this on Halloween." I'm like, "All right, cool."
Awesome.
So it's not in my style anymore. But it's a very memorable song for me. And yeah.
How old is this song?
It was released on October 31st, 2021.
Oh, okay, a few years ago, and I know you mentioned that you found like your style, so obviously it's like different now from back then.
Oh, it's very, very different, yes. Mhm.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, and then that was pretty much all the questions that I had, and I'm not sure if you wanted to go back to the other one that you had a hard time answering.
Absolutely, yes. So remind me what that is again.
Hold up, I forgot which one. Let me see. Mm, I think it was the what themes do you explore in your lyrics and how do they connect with your audience? Was it that one? I don't remember. You said it was a hard one.
I honestly don't
Oh my
recall.
God, I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's
I mean, we could just
okay.
not do it.
For
Oh,
sure.
all right, then. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's all the questions they had for you, and we answered, well, you answered them all.